Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most famous artworks in the world, Katsushika Hokusai's The Great Wave off Kanagawa. This iconic image of a towering wave is instantly recognizable, but behind it lies a story full of symbolism, history, and surprising details. Katsushika Hokusai was born in 1760 in Edo, present-day Tokyo. He was a ukiyo-e artist, which means he created woodblock prints and paintings of the so-called floating world, city life, beautiful women, landscapes, and myths. Hokusai was known for constantly reinventing himself. In fact, he changed his name more than 30 times throughout his career. But his life wasn't easy. He faced financial struggles, especially because of his grandson's gambling problems, and he also lost loved ones. Still, he never stopped creating art and continued working almost until his death in 1849. He even believed that every decade made him a better artist, and the Great Wave was created when Hokusai was already over 70 years old. The Great Wave off Kanagawa is part of a series called 36 Views of Mount Fuji, published in the early 1830s. Each print in the series features the iconic Mount Fuji. The work is not a painting, but a woodblock print made through a complex process and printed in thousands of copies. In its time, it was mass-produced art, something ordinary townspeople could afford to buy for their homes. The picture shows a massive wave rising dramatically, threatening small fishing boats. In the background, Mount Fuji appears tiny and calm, almost like an eternal beacon amid chaos. The color is also important. Hokusai used Prussian blue, a new and long-lasting pigment in Japan at the time. Thanks to it, the wave still looks vivid today. So what does the Great Wave symbolize? The most obvious interpretation is the overwhelming power of nature. The wave is huge, threatening, and uncontrollable, while the fishermen are small and fragile in comparison. Mount Fuji, on the other hand, represents permanence and peace. It stands firm, unshaken by the storm. Some also see the wave as a metaphor for Japan's encounter with Western culture. In the 19th century, Japan was beginning to open up to the outside world, and the wave could symbolize this foreign influence rushing in. In Buddhist and Shinto thought, the wave may also represent the transience of life and constant change, the idea that no wave ever returns, yet the sea is eternal. This makes the work multi-layered. It can be read as a story about nature, history, or even an inner human struggle, or all of them at once. And now, here are some things you may not have known about the Great Wave. It's not a tsunami, but what's called an onami, or a large ocean wave. Its shape is deliberately stylized. The curling tips of the wave almost look like claws or fingers, as if the wave itself were a giant creature. Mount Fuji is intentionally drawn small in the background, making the wave appear even more massive. In a way, the two mirror each other. Hokusai himself was incredibly productive, leaving behind more than 30,000 works, from landscapes to erotic shunga prints. The Great Wave also had a huge influence on Western art, inspiring Monet, Van Gogh, and even the composer Claude Debussy. And perhaps the most surprising fact, what we now see as a masterpiece of world art was, in Edo period Japan, essentially a cheap poster you could buy at the market. So the Great Wave off Kanagawa is much more than a beautiful picture. It's a story of nature, humanity, and time. And for almost 2 centuries, it has crossed cultural boundaries, inspiring artists all around the world. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and tell me in the comments, what does the Great Wave symbolize to you? And if you'd like to see more stories about art and its secrets, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next video.